Have you ever stood in front of a supermarket shelf, torn between getting Kellogg's chocolate chips or Kellogg's Max? It's a small decision, right? But for some reason, you just can't make up your mind. Now, what does this have to do with quitting my job? Well, both are about making decisions. Obviously, the stakes are a bit higher when it's about your career rather than your cereal, but you get the idea. Today, I want to share my story of why I quit my job without another one lined up, what led to this decision, and what I've been up to since. I break it down into 4 different parts that have each influenced my decision based on a certain percentage. Let's start with the first 30%. During my HR exit interview, I explained that my decision to quit wasn't tied directly to the company. Although there had been a company restructure, it wasn't the main driver. More the opposite, actually. I had been at this company for almost 5 years, and I joined when it was still like only 60 employees. With the company growing to 300 in headcount, with it came my personal growth as well. It offered me a lot of experience, and I connected with so many kind and smart and talented people. Therefore, the hardest part for me was saying goodbye to my colleagues and also especially my team that I had built and led for the last 2 years while I was at the company. Now you might ask, like Nelly Furtado, why do all good things come to an end? Well, sometimes you grow out of a situation, even if it's one you used to love. I felt like I had reached this point, and additionally, there were also the remaining 70% that impacted my decision. I've always been a curious person who loves learning and exploring new things. And I finally also had the time to follow up on my dedicated reading list. So over the past year, I've roughly read 70 books. Yes, I know, 70 books. And okay, 20 of them were audiobooks, but still, it was a lot of books. Reading helped me see myself and the world differently. So the second of my 30% were due to my personal growth. I also used this time to develop new skills that I've always wanted to learn. For instance, starting this YouTube channel. It's something that I've been thinking about for over 3 years, but somehow I would always put it off. I told myself I don't have the time for this, or I don't know anything about scripting, editing, and creating thumbnails. And it's also something where you step out of your comfort zone, putting yourself in front of a camera and start talking to people, to you guys. But finally, I decided to just go for it and learn along the way. Starting this YouTube channel has reawakened my creative energy. As a kid, I actually loved drawing mangas. I was never really good, but I just really enjoyed doing it. I'd sit for hours and sketching out stories and characters together with my sister. But as I got older, this creative flow somehow seemed to dry up. I felt blocked, stuck, and uninspired. Taking a step back from work allowed me to rediscover that part of myself. I've also spent more time with my family, like national holidays or spending birthdays with my siblings in person. After living abroad in 3 countries over the last 8 years, it feels just amazing to reconnect with everyone again. I've created so many memories together also this year. A sports retreat in Turkey with my sister, an e-bike adventure with my dad in the south of Germany, a road trip through entire Italy and Tenerife with my boyfriend, and weekend trips to visit friends across Europe. Traveling has always been something that fuels me. And this year I've embraced it wholeheartedly and connected it with quality time with friends and family. But let's speak about the next 20% of my decision. For as long as I can remember, I've wanted to do a sabbatical. Have you ever watched the show Charmed? It used to be my all-time favorite. It's about 3 sisters who are witches, and they're constantly battling evil. One of them takes a sabbatical after losing herself as a writer, and for some reason, this always stuck with me. I reached a point where I was just chasing one goal after another, and I was at crossroads, which is why the next 20% of my decision were about taking a break and making new experiences. I kept thinking, once I achieve this, I will feel absolutely fulfilled. But for some reason, I kept on reaching goal after goal, even goals that I assumed I would only reach once I turned 40 or 50. And yet I still felt empty. Every morning I woke up feeling drained, not just tired, but completely out of energy and motivation. And sure, everyone has bad days, but when those bad days turn into weeks or into months, you know just something has to change. I realized that I have been running on autopilot way too long. I wasn't really stopping and taking some time to ask myself, does this really make me happy? Does this fit with my values? From the outside, my life looked great. But from the inside, something felt off. Like the person I was didn't match the life I was living. Taking a sabbatical was my way of hitting the reset button. It gave me space to reflect, to ask myself also tough questions, and to figure out what I want out of life. And finally, the last 20%, intuition. I know that not everyone believes in intuition, but I do. I think we all have a gut feeling, a little voice inside us that tells us the answers we're so desperately looking for, even when we tell ourselves we don't know what to do. And just to be clear here, intuition is not about making impulsive decisions or acting on a whim. It's grounded, intentional, and I think it's something that can be practiced. For me, it's like connecting to something bigger, like God or the universe or your inner self. And a little disclaimer here as well. Intuition doesn't replace logic. It works best when combined with objective facts. In my case, intuition helped me figure out the timing of my decision. I didn't just wake up one day and quit without a plan. I had been preparing for this financially for a long time and saving up for it for when the time was right. If you're curious to learn more about my financial plan when it came to my sabbatical, let me know in the comment section below. I'm very happy to share it in my next video. Intuition can also guide you in smaller, everyday moments. Maybe you have also experienced it. It's a gorgeous summer day outside, the sun is shining, and there's no way that it's gonna rain, right? But that little voice tells you, take an umbrella with you. You ignore it because duh, it's sunny. And then an hour later, it starts pouring. I've ignored my intuition too many times to count, but I'm learning to trust it more. It's been roughly 12 months now since I made that decision, and I can confidently say it was definitely the right one. This year has been full of challenging my beliefs and leaving my comfort zone, but it's also been incredibly rewarding. I've reconnected with myself, built stronger relationships, and explored new interests and passions. And now I'm excited to share everything that I've learned and also what is soon to come. I'll be posting more videos about my journey and on how I used money to build the life that I've always dreamed of. So make sure to hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell and join the community as it grows. So see you next time. Bye.